Okay, so you'll have a fairly straightforward question here. Capital punishment is never acceptable. Discuss this statement showing you've considered more than one point of view. So we're looking for the arguments that it is sometimes acceptable, or the arguments that it is never acceptable. So looking at arguments both for and against, and then eventually coming to a judgment. Okay, so I would look at there the key words, thinking of never and acceptable. I'll sort of talk you through how I've written this and how I've tried to make it as straightforward as I can. Okay, so I've started with the words at first sight, because generally that gives me the chance to evaluate without completely committing to a point of view. So I've put here, at first sight, it would seem accurate to view this issue as a matter of justice and reject the statement. Okay, so just really thinking out loud, going straight forward and thinking, keeping it quite open, and at first sight, pointing the fact it's a matter of justice, and that actually it's possible on first sight to reject the statement because it's only just that humans receive a fair punishment for their crimes. So saying they're rejecting the statement that it's never acceptable, and saying sometimes it is fair that you receive a just and fair punishment for the crimes. Okay, and then immediately, as quickly as we can, what I'm always thinking of doing is getting the sources in as quickly as I possibly can. So if you look there, I've included the Old Testament makes it clear when they say an eye for an eye, and whoever sheds human blood by human shall their blood be shed. So making it really clear that retribution is acceptable as a form of justice, and that if anyone commits a crime, they should be punished for it in the same way. So that's what's meant by an eye for an eye, and whoever sheds human blood by human shall their blood be shed. So seeing that as a matter of justice. Okay, and then given a tiny little bit of evaluation on that, not only does this demonstrate humans receiving what they deserve, but it also means that it deters others from repeating the crime. So I would highlight there, underline, add to yours, and making sure that you've got that point of view as well, that it's an issue of deterrence. So you've got your first part here, talking about it being an issue of justice, talking about justice there, getting the same punishment as that you've for the crime you've committed, but then also saying that how the death penalty can deter others from repeating the crime. And then again, getting another source of wisdom and authority as quickly as you possibly can. So, and then making reference that even Pope John Paul II accepts that this should be the case on rare occasions. So again, another source of wisdom and authority, clear quote there, saying that Pope John Paul accepts it should be the case that you allow capital punishment on rare occasions. Then we want to look at the point of view that agrees with the statement. So, and again, I've tried to evaluate as quickly as I can at the start of this paragraph. So, straight away on the second point of view, I've put there, however, it is clear that this view is wrong and rightly criticised by Gandhi. Okay, so there you get the fact I put is rightly criticised, gives a little bit of evaluation, and it is like doing it straight away at the start of the paragraph, like shows like good evaluation skills. And then again, straight into a source of wisdom and authority by saying, when he says an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. So if you haven't got that already, can you get that quote down as quickly as you can, please? An eye for the eye will make the whole world blind. A very famous quote by Gandhi. So you can see already now we're talking 3 or 4 sources of wisdom, authority / quotes / SOA that we've included. And it's then explaining the argument really clearly, saying that point to the cycle of violence that is created if the statement above is rejected. So if you say that, if If you reject the statement and say capital punishment as it is acceptable, it can lead to a cycle of violence, pointed to by Gandhi's quote when he says, an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. Then, make another clear reference to the question. It is only right to say that capital punishment is never acceptable from a religious standpoint, as it rejects Matthew's gospel that we should forgive not 7 times but 7 times 70. Okay, so again, the issue of forgiveness, that the idea of capital punishment goes completely against the religious viewpoint of forgiveness, and we've got that there where it says 7 times, not 7 times but 7 times 70. Okay, that's what that quote is getting at. And then we look at the developing the argument even further. So, furthermore, it is never acceptable, as the FBI 2023 crime reports demonstrate, that in the states in the USA with capital punishment, that the states in the USA with capital punishment have higher crime rates, which shows it is never acceptable because it does not reduce the crime. So, in those areas where they don't have capital punishment, there's actually less crime. So, higher crime rates, which shows it's never acceptable because it does not reduce crime. Can you get that down? And you might want to get that. That's a nice source of wisdom authority to have, that the FBI crime reports show that those states which don't have a death penalty have lower crime. Now again, certain things pop into my head when just as I was writing it. Remember, I did this under time conditions, and one of the things that popped into my head was like a Twitter meme that was going around. So, and I put there, also, the killing of innocent humans by mistake is an unintended but unavoidable result of the death penalty. And that comes from Ian Hislop, who's a journalist from Private Eye, and he basically points out that if you have capital punishment, you're always going to have some people who are innocent who are killed, because we do make mistakes of justice over time. Okay, looking there, and then take us to like paragraph 3. So I've said it was 3 paragraphs, which I'll talk through in a second, but take us to our judgment. So our judgment is that, in conclusion, it is clear that the weakest argument is that capital punishment can be acceptable. Okay, so again, a judgment and evaluation. This teaching is based on a book that is thousands of years old and not relevant today. It's not relevant today because it is so old. And then saying the second argument is strong, as it is based on a modern day research which is hard evidence that demonstrates its injustice in killing the innocent by accident and its failure to deter crime. So you can see there straight away, again, I was probably struggling for a time, doing it under time conditions, but I've managed to get in why it was weak and why it was strong. But it's strong because it's based on modern day research, hard evidence, talk about the FBI reports there, and demonstrates its injustice by the fact that it's killing the innocent almost by accident, and then furthermore its failure in terrible handwriting to deter crime. Okay, I just want to talk you through a little bit here now the structure of it to make sure that that's really, really clear. So we'll talk about when we've used P chains before. You've got here, you've got your point. So first of all, there, straight matter of justice is a point. And it's only fair that people get a fair punishment. That's a bit of explanation. And then your evidence is an eye for an eye, your quotes, and your the next quote, the source with an authority, more evidence, and then you've got like more explanation slash sort of evaluation. So you can see lots of points, evidence, evaluation, explanation, evidence as you go. And if you look at that there, I would think that is rejecting the statement, thinking that as point of view 1. So you've got there lots of P chains there, a couple of P chains in point of view 1. If you label it like that, thinking about your structure. It's all about using like the P chains as a bit of a scaffold, and as you can see, once I've had the scaffold, I've taken it away. And then you've got, again, the point that even Pope John Paul accepts that this should be the case, and you've got the evidence from his quote saying that he accepts it on rare occasions. So, lots of points, explanations and evidence. Then you've got your point of view 2 in paragraph 2. However, it's clear that this is wrong and rightly criticised by evaluation, rightly criticised by Gandhi, and that's a point and evaluation. So you're making a point and evaluating it. Again, you've got your evidence, an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind. Next point, backed up with cycle of violence. And then you're looking at it from a religious standpoint, the issue of forgiveness. It shows a lack of forgiveness, and again, you've got more evidence in the quote. Then you develop the explanation more. It's never acceptable. More evidence. More explanation. Another point about innocent humans being killed by mistake with more evidence. And then you've got paragraph 3, which is the judgment. So you've got point of view 1, 2, and then your judgment. And then you've got there lots of evaluation. Weakest argument is, and then justifying it. Next evaluation, and justifying it. So there are lots of P chains, lots of points, evidence explained. And there you have the question.